Welcome to Craig's Gun Channel. Taurus International was founded as a tool and die forging plant in 1939, and in 1941 they produced their first firearm, the Model 38101, which they developed using design features from Colt, Smith & Wesson, and Spanish brands. They produced firearms for several years, distributing locally, and did not really begin importing in the United States until the mid-60s. Around that same time, a conglomerate company called Bangor Punta purchased Smith & Wesson, with the deal finalized in 1965. The same year that Smith & Wesson introduced their Model 60 revolver. I bring that up because in 1970, Bangor Punta also acquired Taurus. So for 7 years, from 1970 through 1977, Smith & Wesson and Taurus were sister companies, sharing a lot of technical data and manufacturing technologies with each other, which is why their product lines were so similar. In 1977, an investor group headed by a former Smith & Wesson employee purchased Taurus from Bangor Punta, and in 1982 they increased their U.S. presence by opening a headquarters in Florida, and in 1990 began U.S. manufacturing operations in addition to importation. During this time period, the quality, fit, and finish of their products was generally very good. However, starting in the late 90s, quality issues began to occur, and lawsuits were brought against them, resulting in large numbers of products being recalled. These issues blemished their reputation, resulting ultimately in a change of ownership in 2015. With the new management taking steps to bring quality back into line and improve their brand image. Today, Taurus offers a broad range of firearms and represent a quality brand with a lot of value. In this video, we're going to look at the Model 605 revolver. First produced in 1995, it's a 5-shot, small-frame revolver chambered in .357. It features a transfer bar safety, 2-inch barrel with a fixed sight blade, and an overall length of 6.5 inches. The full metal models are available in matte black and alloy steel, or matte stainless steel, and weigh 24 ounces. A polymer-framed version called the Protector is available that features a matte black or stainless cylinder and comes in at 20 ounces and features a fiber optic front sight. All models currently have a full hammer, however double action only models with bobbed hammers were available at one time. This one is a matte black alloy steel model. Let's take a closer look. And the Taurus Model 605. Before we really take a look at it, we need to do a quick safety check, make sure it is free and clear of any ammunition. This is the cylinder release here. You would push it forward to unlock the cylinder. So push it forward and the cylinder will come out. And as we can see here, the chamber areas in the cylinder are all clear, so we're safe to look at the rest of the controls and features of the firearm. It has a double action, single action trigger. The rear sight is cast into the frame, it's just a simple notch. The front sight is cast integral to the barrel, so it's not replaceable. It does have the Taurus interlock or safety lock system on it, on the back of the hammer. You would simply put the provided key in, and if you turn it clockwise, that will lift, the screw comes out a little bit, and then it locks it so it won't be able to fire. Put the key in, turn it counterclockwise, and it unlocks it to where it would then function. It does have a ejector. Right there is the ejector. You would simply push in on that, and that lifts the ejector star, which would then remove any cartridges that are in the cylinder. It is a double action, single action trigger. When the hammer is in the uncocked position, the trigger is in the middle section there. By pulling the trigger, it will cock the hammer back and then release it to fire at the farthest back of the travel. So, as we can see here, it would go ahead and cock the hammer back and then fire at the end of its pull. If you cock the hammer manually, the trigger goes to the single action position, and then a light trigger pull would be all that you would need to fire the weapon. And that's pretty much it as far as the controls and operation. Revolvers are generally fairly simple. There is no safety to speak of. The safety is the trigger itself. The double action trigger on this is fairly heavy. Most double action triggers generally are fairly heavy, and that's what makes them inherently safer. It does take some practice to be able to shoot them accurately in double action. It's something that you need to get used to each firearm. Between the double action and the short barrel, this would be a little bit of a challenge to shoot accurately at distance. However, it could still be done. Of course, in single action mode, you'd just be limited by the sight radius being so small. And that's pretty much it. And we're out the range today with the Taurus Model 605 and 357. Go ahead and take some shots and see how it does. Recoil is fairly stout, as you would imagine, from being such a small, lightweight 357, but it's manageable. And I'm shooting some PPU, 158 grain semi-jacketed hollow points, so we'll go ahead and keep taking some shots and see how it does. Whoa. Anticipating recoil a little bit on that. And I got her reloaded to go ahead and take some more shots. Recoil, as I said, is fairly stout with this. It's got a fairly small grip. It is a rubber grip, so that does help to mitigate the recoil somewhat. But it still lets you know that you're shooting a 357. So accuracy-wise, I'm pretty happy with the results overall. Still getting used to it. It has a front blade sight, just no adjustable sights in the back, so it shoots pretty much where it's going to go, and you need to then adjust for it. At the range, I found the accuracy acceptable in single action shooting. In double action, well, I missed the target 4 out of 5 shots, pulling to the left by a fair margin. The heavy double action trigger pull combined with the 2-inch barrel sight radius accounted for some of that. However, once the action smooths out and I get more trigger time, I would expect that to improve. To be fair, that's more of a me problem than with the gun itself. Is it the same quality as a Smith & Wesson Model 60 or a Ruger SP101? Well, no, of course not. The fit and finish are in line with what you would expect from a budget-priced firearm. And let's be honest, the Smith & Ruger is going to set you back around $600. You can pick the Taurus up for just over $300. Would the Smith or Ruger shoot better? Maybe a bit, as generally speaking their triggers are usually better, but realistically, most shooters will not notice any difference. With real-world accuracy and performance essentially the same, the 605 represents a real bargain. I hope that this information is of value, and if you like the video, I would ask that you hit the like button and subscribe if you want to continue to see more like this. I appreciate your viewership and value your comments and feedback, and as always, until next week, stay safe.